You ever notice how in politics, the fastest way to prove you belong is to insult your own grandparents? I mean, no, seriously, seriously. If you're a black conservative, you lean a little right. Apparently, the initiation ceremony is step one, say something spicy about the civil rights movement. Step two, call somebody a race hustler. Step three, collect your applause. And if you hesitate, if you say, well, hold on, they did risk their lives, suddenly you're suspicious. It's wild because somewhere along the way, we confused ideological independence with historical disrespect. And you know what? That is stupid. What do you expect? The political discourse is stupid.
Roof is no limit. It must be the stage, and we cannot lose it in these days of rage. We cannot lose it in these days of rage. We cannot lose it in these days of rage.
Welcome back to Political Discourse is Stupid, the show where we take the loudest conversations in politics, remove the emotional theatrics, and just try, to apply a little logic, memory, and occasionally adulthood, with our own bit of stupid loudness, just from time to time. I'm your host, and today we're talking about something that's been bothering me. This isn't a left-wing rant. It's not a right-wing rant. It's a maturity rant. Today, with the passing of Jesse Jackson, I've noticed something quite predictable. Quite predictable. Instead of reflection, we get reaction. Instead of gratitude, we get score settling. Instead of nuance, we're going to get some hashtags. And too often, especially among black conservatives, if you lean a little bit right, and you're trying to solidify your credibility on the right, there's this rush to diminish leaders of the civil rights era, as if respect automatically equals ideological surrender. It does not. You can disagree politically with the man and still acknowledge he had courage, he had heart, he had a point of view, he had a point. You can critique strategy and still honor sacrifice. And here's the part that makes this conversation especially interesting. When it came to the Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act of 1994, also known as the Clinton Crime Bill, which was written by Joe Biden and signed by Bill Clinton, Jesse Jackson was one of the earliest and loudest voices warning against mass incarceration. He was one of the ones warning us about what the Democrats were doing to the black men in our community. In 1995, he was talking about it. In 94, he was talking about it. When he was on the floor in 93, he was talking about it. Before documentaries, before bipartisan regret tours, before everybody suddenly discovered criminal justice reform, he said locking up a generation of black men would devastate the black community. And he was right. So today's conversation isn't about pretending he was perfect. It's about asking whether we, particularly black conservatives, are mature enough to celebrate a life and service even when we had political disagreements. Because if we can't do that, then political discourse really is stupid. There's so many different roads that lead to the same destination. You know, sometimes we as black conservatives get a little too excited trying to prove that we belong in the room. We walk into the ideological family reunion like, don't worry, I bought the potato salad, so we don't have to worry about yours with the raisins. And a critique of the entire civil rights movement at the same time. And somewhere along the way, in our effort to show that we're independent thinkers, we forget something simple. Independence does not require amnesia. It does not require disrespect. And it certainly does not require calling people race hustlers who literally had dogs, fire hoses, federal agencies, and sometimes their own government pointed at them. As much as it's unfair what the government has done to Donald Trump, it was doubly unfair what the government did to King, X, Jesse Jackson, even at times, whether you like it or not, Al Sharpton. Now listen, I am right of center. I believe in personal responsibility. I believe in markets. I believe in strong families and strong institutions. I also believe in facts. And the fact is this: there were men and women in our community who laid it on the line. They had principles. They risked their lives for those principles. And even when their political prescriptions weren't perfect, and they weren't, their moral diagnosis often was. Take Jesse Jackson. Now I know some folks just shifted in their seats, but stay with me. Just give me a moment. You don't have to agree with every speech he ever gave. You don't have to endorse every policy he supported. You don't have to become a card-carrying member of the Rainbow Coalition or anything else. But you have to tell the truth. And here's a recent truth. Let's not go back to the 60s or the 70s or the 80s. Yeah, he would work all through that time. He even ran for president in 84, which helped Barack Obama become the president in 2008. And here's the truth. In the mid-90s, when the country was celebrating toughness and applauding long sentences like they were Olympic medals, Jesse Jackson stood up and said, wait a minute, there's a problem. The Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act, written by then Senator Joe Biden and signed by President Bill Clinton, was widely praised at the time. It was bipartisan. It was popular. It was politically convenient. The NAACP had endorsed it. Black folk were happy to support Bill Clinton. The Church of God in Christ, we had them sitting in our pulpit. Oh my God, Trump is so terrible. But we had Bill Clinton sitting in our pulpit. I'm sorry. It was devastating. That crime bill was devastating for black men in this community. Jesse Jackson warned about mass incarceration before mass incarceration became a podcast title, a topic of discussion, a documentary series, a graduate thesis, a show on Netflix. He warned that locking up a generation of young black men would not just punish criminals, but it would destabilize families, neighborhoods, economies, and futures. He said it when it wasn't trendy. He said it when it wasn't safe. He said it when Democrats didn't want to hear it, and he was right. And now, here's where my fellow black conservatives have an opportunity. If we're serious about truth, not just team loyalty, then we can say plainly the 1994 crime bill hurt our community. It expanded incarceration in ways that disproportionately damaged black families. It fed a system that treated symptoms with shackles instead of solving root causes. And yes, Democratic leadership at the time championed it. The NAACP held it. We supported them. Many of us voted for them. Our community overwhelmingly backed them up. Well, Bill Clinton was blowing a saxophone on Arsenio Hall. He was also planning big cages in halls for us to be stored in. But they got that one wrong. And guess who didn't get it wrong? Jesse Jackson. So here's the irony. If you believe you're a black conservative who believes the crime bill was a mistake, and many of us do, then one of the most consistent voices on that issue decades ago was a man many conservatives love to dismiss. That should at least earn him a respectful nod. You don't have to adopt his entire platform to acknowledge his foresight. You don't have to join his movement to honor his courage. You don't have to agree with every tactic to recognize his sacrifice. There is an idea, a powerful one, that we all want to go to the same place. We all want safe neighborhoods. We all want strong families. We all want economic opportunity. We all want dignity. We want our kids and our children to thrive and survive. We just disagree about the best way to take. Some of us prefer free markets. Some prefer federal programs. Some even prefer a mix of both. Guess you gotta pick your poison both ways, huh? But the destination is shared. And when a man spends his life fighting, sometimes imperfectly, sometimes loudly, sometimes controversially, but fighting nonetheless for the dignity of black Americans, that life deserves respect. It deserves gratitude. It deserves honesty. So, my brothers that are leaning right of center, my friends that are black conservatives, maybe this is our moment to show some maturity. Not insecurity, not hostility, not performative contrarianism, but maturity. The ability to say we differ, but we honor the man's work. Because respecting the journey of those who carried the baton doesn't weaken our ideology. It strengthens our credibility. Celebrating the life of Jesse Jackson doesn't make you less conservative. It makes you more human. It makes you more honest. Yeah, you got a different way of seeing things. I get it. I do. I understand. And you want to take a different road. But I think we all want to go to the same destination. For a man who tried to make sure our destination included freedom, fairness, and opportunity, even when the politics were messy, we can say this plainly. Thank you, Jesse. Rest well, brother. We'll see you in the morning. Sometimes the political discourse doesn't have to be stupid. It can be honest. Peace.
There is no time to seek the light. All we have to do is turn our eye to the sky. There is something known there, known to me and you. And what we find must be the truth. So when you learn what you must know, you cannot stay